Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Sunday night Victoria Inn quiz. I hope everybody's in a decent mood tonight to take on what is probably a testing and challenging quiz tonight. So I hope you've all got your brains with you, and let's see how we all fare tonight. Now, before we go any further, I am incapacitated. I've gone and done my right shoulder in, and so I'm in a lot of pain. So I need to drink more beer than normal. I think so. If I start stirring my words towards the end of the quiz, it's the painkillers and beer that'll be doing it for me. But never mind. We had an accident on our push bike on Friday evening, and came off our bike unfortunately at somebody ploughed into us going the wrong way with his hands not on handlebars, which didn't help. Never mind. So we ended up going into a bit of a verge and hurting ourselves, and I rolled over my right shoulder and I've really done it in. But never mind, enough of that. I'd already written the quiz, so thankfully I haven't been writing it all day long today. So right, let's see who is with us tonight. We've got Michelle and the gang, and the Crick gang have just joined us. So we've got Michelle, Charlie, James, all signing in. Good evening to you. Hope all is well with you and the family. I hope you've enjoyed a lovely Father's Day. Chris Meads has just signed in. Good evening, Chris. I hope you've got a full team tonight. Let's see how you fare. Second in last Sunday night's quiz. Let's see whether you can make it a win tonight. Martin Davis is signing. Good evening, Martin and Tina. Big thanks to you this week for making me another extension lead for my quiz, so I can do an outside broadcast, basically. But I just feel it's a bit nippy, perhaps, tonight. And we'll wait until possibly Wednesday or next Sunday, see whether it's a little bit less windy and a little bit warmer, maybe for an outside broadcast. But anyway, thanks to you, Martin, for doing that for me. Evening, Ian. Thank you for you as well, because Ian's been helping me try and rebuild a phono preamplifier that I built out of a kit, which didn't work. He found a short on the board, which he's now fixed. However, we still have various problems with it, which I'm sure he will be able to get to the bottom for me. It appears my soldering isn't as good as I thought it was, but never mind. What's that? Gabantine's what unit? Gabapentin. That's all right. Sarah, yes, it was a bit of a smack on the bike. We were on a cycle path. We were going the opposite direction of three lads coming towards us. They're all teenagers. We went past the first two, but the lad at the back obviously hadn't seen us. He was cycling without any hands on the handlebars and ploughed straight into my handlebar. We ended up, I ended up rolling over the handlebars and ended up with the bike on top of it. So that wasn't very clever, but never mind. So we've both been kind of nursing our wounds, so to speak. No broken bones, thankfully, but plenty of bruises. Right, Johnny Callahan's just signing. Good evening to you, Johnny. Nice to see you. Hope all is well with you and the family. I hope you've enjoyed Father's Day. Mike Yates, you as well. Nice to see you. John Potter saying pussy Nick. That's probably why you bought me the 10% beer to try tonight, is it, John? We'll see. And Kevin King, the Rugby Roach Club. Good evening to you all. I hope all is well with you and your families. Carol Jackson. Good evening, Carol. Let's see how we fare tonight. It's a tough quiz tonight. I won't say any other than that. Last week we had around the UK round. This week we've got around France round. I thought you'd like that one, but never mind. We'll see how you fare. Martin Davis is saying, have you checked it works? Actually, no, I'm still on the old one, Martin, but I'm sure it does. We will see. Jackie Skipper's just signed in. Good evening to you, Jackie. Hope all is well with you and the family. And we now have Mark Anderton signing in from Norwich. Live from Norwich, looking forward to coming to the Vic and using the new Nationwide app to order my drinks. Happy hour. Yes, we'll see about that. Right, the Ridgeways have joined us from Welton. Now we're in trouble. Ridgeways from Welton was a very strong team, especially with Anthony there at the hub of the team. Or is it Paul? Or is it Trish? One of the three. But never mind. Andrew Lewis has just joined us. Good evening, Andrew. It's nice to see our friends from Yelvertoft have joined us tonight. Pickamix are also signed in. So good evening, Pickamix. Hope all is well with you. I hope you've enjoyed a nice Father's Day today. And I don't know what Father's had for his Father's Day, but I'm sure he's had a few cards and a nice dinner at least. Chris Meads is saying, how's the bike, Nick? Well, my bike came out quite well, actually. It was a great big solid thing, so it wasn't going to get knackered, really. It's a very heavy bike, so besides a bent steering where the wheel was pointing in one direction and the handlebars in the other, besides that, it's been fine. So, right then, let me run through the rounds tonight for you. All right, we've just had Great White has joined us from Toronto and Chepstow. So let's see whether we can have on some Canadian questions tonight. I can't remember if there was any in there, but there might be. We'll see. So they've just joined us from Toronto and Chepstow. And Graham Gifford and gang have just joined us from Cambridge. Good evening to you. We bought him a fridge for his beer. Pick and mix. Fantastic. What a present that is. I got some beer. In fact, I got this shirt. I will just show you my shirt tonight. This is my Father's Day shirt. This was bought by my daughter, Lydia. Apparently, according to the label, it was using real indigo dye. Now, I'm not quite sure what real indigo dye is. Having looked it up, most indigo dye these days, or 99%, is synthetic. So does that mean it's a real synthetic dye, or does that mean it's a real indigo dye? Well, we'll have to ask, who's it from, this one? Sainsbury's. We'll have to ask Sainsbury's to see whether they actually use proper indigo dye or whether it's synthetic indigo dye. But my feeling is it's synthetic, but we'll see about that. Right, Helen and Steve Valentine have just signed in. Good evening to see you, Helen and Steve. And Mick and Bev Roberts are online from Dunchurch. Nice to see you, or Dunchurch Way. And we've had Don Quixote are back after tour of windmills. Oh, excellent. Don Quixote and the windmills. So where are you signing in from tonight? Ian Anthony James, are you in from London or are you in from Manchester? Have you got the whole crew signed in or not? Well, we'll see. Right, let's go through the rounds. Round 1 tonight will be entitled Sunday the 21st. 10 straightforward general knowledge questions, spelling out the word Sunday, followed by 2-1, followed by ST, as in Sunday the 21st even. Round number 2 is entitled Father's Day. Everything you ever wanted to know about Father's Day. Right, just had Chilly Willy and Joe have just signed in. Good evening, Chilly. Hope all went well with you today and you've enjoyed Father's Day. Right, Don Quixote have just said they've signed in from Manchester and London. So we now have Manchester, London. We've got Worcester, Toronto. We have Norwich. What else have we got? Various other places, but never mind. Right, round number 3 tonight is basically a trivia trail, where the last letter of your first answer is the first letter of your next answer. Right, we've got Anthony Pugh has just signed in. Hi, Nick, the Pews of Stretton here. You got a shirt for Father's Day? What's that? I got a tin of very nice. Well, I got one of my sons bought me 4 tins of very nice beer, and the other son bought me 3 bottles of beer. So, and my daughter bought me a shirt. So there we have it. So that's really, really good. Ian Sharrett is now saying he's on coffee. I'm on coffee. Well, you need to keep that brain alert, Ian. After all, there's a lot of thinking about how that bloody circuit, how that circuit board works in mine, but never mind. We'll see how we go. So I've got Dean Johnson just signed in. Joining Don Quixote from Sarf. What's that? Sarf, London. Oh, well, wherever Sarf is, or whatever Sarf is. Unless it's South London, of course, it could be just the accent, of course, but never mind. I'm sure it probably is. South London. Where did I got to? Right, we've been through Sunday the 21st. Round 2 was Father's Day. Round 3 was a trivia trail. Round 4 tonight. We went around the UK last week. Tonight we're going around France. I thought you'd enjoy that one. So it's round France. Round number 5 is a rhyming pairs round where we have 10 general knowledge questions where the answers to 5 rhyme with the other 5. Pretty straightforward. We've done it before. It's a very straightforward round. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. And as is always, the last round tonight is just basic trivia for those that are just general quizzes. Basically, there are 10 general knowledge basic trivia questions which most quiz players need to be able to answer. Right, we've just got PRS, Claire, Robin and Matthew have joined us tonight. Let's see how they fare because they're always there or thereabouts. Didn't do particularly well last Sunday. I think they blew it a little bit, but generally they have been in the top 3. So let's see how they do tonight. Gillian Pugh has just joined us from Cambridge. Good evening, Jill. I hope you and Steve are well. I don't know what you'll have to let me know what Steve got for Father's Day off his siblings or whatever else. Anyway, so I've been through the 6 rounds tonight. And we'll be kicking it off in exactly 5 minutes. So we'll just let a few more teams join. We're up to 70 teams have joined us now. Karen's just joined us. Good evening, Karen. How are you? Actually, there is a question which you should be able to get tonight somewhere near your neck of the woods. So we've got hi from Blackpool and good evening from Rugby. And I hope all is well with you. And I hope you've enjoyed a lovely day out. Rugby's been quite interesting today because they've decided to introduce over this weekend, a one-way system in Rugby Town Centre. So Warwickshire County Council, in their wisdom, and the local council with them, decided to put up all these plastic barriers in the centre of the roads to obviously keep 2 halves of the traffic separate for some reason, and they've all blown over. So all the way down North Street, all the way down Church Street, these marvellous new plastic barriers to keep everybody socially distanced, and they've all blown over. Great fun, eh? So God knows what they're going to do about that one. They'll have to go back to, back to plan B, I think, but we'll see. Right, we've just had Carrie Mitchell's just signed in from Minehead. Lovely to see you back from Minehead. Hope all is well down there. I expect the weather's been glorious down there. How's it today? I don't really have much cloud. We had a little bit this morning, but things have got better as the evening's gone on. We've had clear skies, and I think this week should be better than last week. Right, just had Paula Lewis and the Quizzy Rascals sign in. Good evening, the Quizzy Rascals. Again, another team that are always there or thereabout. What's this? She's put, it's absolutely shocking. I trust we're back to talking about barriers in rugby. Absolutely shocking. Paul had some choice words about that. Well, that's fair enough. Faye's just signed in. Here, better late than never. Good evening, Faye. I hope all is well with you, and I hope you've had a great evening. Sorry, Dave. Footy Fox 86. Good evening to you and all your family. Hope all is well with you. And we've just had Chris Speak, last week's Sunday winner, have just signed in. So presumably, Chris, that's you and the family. So hope all is well with you, and I hope you've enjoyed a good Father's Day as well. Jill's just saying good evening to Carrie and Glynis and Keith. That's from Minehead. So we've got people now talking Minehead to Cambridge and back. Right, we've got 76 of you now signed in. 3 minutes to go before we get starting with tonight's tricky quiz. 6 rounds of testing trivia to keep you all going. Oh, God blimey. And my back's doing, not very good at all. Now, there will be some Greg Pugh. Evening, Greg and Jill, joined by Mark from Gloucester. Helen not joining us as she's watching her team. I got some rudder beans from Mark for Father's Day. Now, there's a good present, isn't it? Rudder beans from your son for Father's Day. Well, I thought, Greg, you'd be watching the football, but I suppose you're watching yours this week. Yeah, you can leave it on in the background, can't you? See how the Scousers are getting on. Now, I don't know whether we've got any Liverpool fans. Presumably, they're all watching the big match. But other than that, I'm sure most of you, if you are watching the football, there's going to be a lot of football going on now in the background, which is a bit of a shame, but never mind. Takes a few people away from the quiz, but not those that are serious quizzes. Stocked with Quantock beer. I hope you got. Did you get the Quantock question that I put in the other night? Was that Wednesday night's quiz or was that Sunday night's quiz? I can't remember. I had a question about the Quantocks, and I remember riding the Quantocks 2 years ago, me and the wife on our bike, and halfway up the Quantocks, I got a real pain. It's they are very, very steep hills, the Quantocks, and you go up one side and then you come down the other on your way to the Mendips, and they're just as bad. But never mind. Right, what's good evening from Diane. Good evening to you. Hope all is well with you. Pinky and Perky reporting for duty. So they've just signed in. Ian Sharrett saying Wayne King is an American musician. However, soldering is a gift. Is it? Right. Oh, dear. That's what it was. Steve had a count. Right, Greg Pugh. I'm not watching Liverpool. Excellent. I don't blame you, Greg. And Robin Miller's just agreeing with me. A pain in the Quantocks. That is not what you want, a pain in the Quantocks. I've actually got a bit of a pain in my shoulder at the moment. Never mind. Right. minute to go, and then we're going to kick off. All right, everybody, get your beer ready now, and get your pens and paper out ready. 10 general knowledge questions to start you off. Pretty straightforward this week. Do remember the first round is entitled Sunday the 21st. So we start off with the letter S-U-N-D-A-Y 21-S-T, Sunday the 21st. And pretty straightforward it is. So here we go. It's now 2015. We have 80 odd teams signed in. No doubt one or two will be a little bit late, but never mind. They can catch us up as we go. So question number one, starting with the letter S. The Spanish word El Domingo translates directly into English as what day of the week? So the Spanish word El Domingo translates directly into English as what day of the week? Well, it starts with the letter S. You've got a choice of two, I suppose. So that's question number one. Right, we've got we've got teams from all over the place at the moment. So I think Boris Johnson has decided next week that he's going to come up with some possible dates for pubs to open. So we will see what happens. I might well have to do a live quiz from the pub because I don't see many people are actually going to bother coming and doing it. I'll get far more teams if I just do it online, I think, for a few weeks, but we'll see. Question number two, starting with letter U. What name is given to someone who shows people to their seats in theatres, auditoriums, or churches, etc.? So what name is given to someone who shows people to their seats in theatres, auditoriums, or churches, etc.? Weddings? Funerals? All right then, question number three. This is difficult. Starting with the letter N. N for Nick. A former capital of China. What is the name of a city in eastern China on the Yangtze River? It was the scene of a massacre in the 1930s committed by Imperial Japanese troops against the city's residents. You can almost make a name up and it might be nearly right. So a former capital of China. What is the name of a city in eastern China on the Yangtze River? It was the scene of a massacre in the 1930s committed by Imperial Japanese troops against the city's residents. Starting with the letter N. N for Nick. Now that's a tricky one. What are you laughing at? Clive's got it, has he? Good old Clive. Sure, somebody will get it. Right, now, number four is easier than you think. Again, a tricky question, but it's only, oh dear, got beer already on my new shirt. Oh dear, the indigo's coming out. No, it's not. Just having you on. Question number four. What is the two-word name that is associated with the period of European history that lies between classical antiquity and the Italian Renaissance? It starts with the letter D and it's a two-word answer. So what is the two-word name that is associated with the period of European history that lies between classical antiquity and the Italian Renaissance? You could call it a three-word answer, but for the purposes of the quiz, it's a two-word answer, starting with the letter D. That's two tough questions in a row. Hope you're staying in there. We'll see. They get easier, don't worry. Right, question number five for all you drinkers. Literally meaning little bitter. What is a sweet Italian liqueur that originated in Sorano and was originally flavored with bitter almonds? Although they use a synthetic flavoring now, but literally meaning little bitter. What is a sweet Italian liqueur that originated in Sorano and was originally flavoured with bitter almonds. Starts with the letter A, which makes that quite easy, or easier than you think. Don't think too hard about it. Stick down what you think straight away. You've what? Got some in the cupboard? The wife reckons she's got some in the cupboard. That's if you got it right. Was he? Absinthio's not the right answer, you know. I know you didn't. Question number 6. Starting with the letter Y. There can't be many of these. I'm always searching around for Y questions. Also known as the Day of Atonement. What is a solemn and major fasting day of the Jewish calendar? Its observance is one of the requirements of the Mosaic Law. So question 6 again, also known as the Day of Atonement. What is a solemn and major fast day of the Jewish calendar? Its observance is one of the requirements of the Mosaic Law. And that's a 2-word answer, starting with the letter Y. I'm sure you'll all get that one. That was on the chase only the other day. In one of the cash build, not the cash builder, what's it build around? So it's got to be easy, isn't it? No? Question 7 starts with a number. It's one you can possibly work out. If you know your Monopoly board, that is, of course. So question number 7, the standard, Mick Roberts always loves Monopoly questions. The standard UK edition of the popular board game Monopoly has how many title deed cards? In other words, how many properties? So the standard UK edition of the popular board game Monopoly has how many title deed cards? It's got to start with the number 2, of course. You might be able to work that out. Helps at all, it's an even number. Well, if you've got no idea, you've got a chance of getting it right there anyway, I suppose. Oh, actually, the hair's not doing too bad. The wife was at it this week with the old shears. She got the shears out on, when was it, Ange? Friday? Thursday? Went down the sides of it. Because when you get to my age, it starts growing out here instead of up here. So she shaved a bit down here and it's done a decent job. But, question number 8. Here we go. This has got to start with the number 1. Not that it really helps. In the game of darts, what is the highest achievable score with 3 darts in different scoring zones? So they can't land in the same bed. So in the game of darts, what is the highest achievable score with 3 darts in different scoring zones? Can't be too difficult to work out. I'm sure you'll get that one. Bad news when you can't pick your party. What's that? No, I'm just letting you cool down for it. Chris Maids is saying that my wife can cut his hair as well. There you go. Yes, she said she will. There you go. How much? £2? Pint of beer would do. Actually, what's that, Ange? Can of plum porter or something? No, whatever. Right, question number 9. Remember, this has got to start with the letter S. S for Stephen. What name is given to a sheath for holding a sword, knife, or other large blade? Rifles may also be stored in one of these 4 horse riders. So what name is given to a sheath for holding a sword, a knife, or other large blade? Rifles may also be stored in one of these 4 horse riders. That's got to start with the letter S, remember. And finally, question number 10, starting with the letter T. Which band reached #1 on the UK singles charts in 1967 with the cover versions of the Four Seasons hit Silence is Golden? You don't want me to sing it for you, do you? Silence is golden. So which band reached #1 on the UK singles charts in 1967 with a cover version of the Four Seasons hit Silence is Golden? Starts with the letter T. Right then, all the questions Lydia's posted in the chat on the right-hand side. So one or two teams have joined us. So if there are any teams that are just a little bit behind, do feel free to just go back over those and see whether you can work them out. If you need props, work out the Monopoly one. The others, yeah, one or two of those you might not know, but we'll see. Remember the clues in the letter. There is a letter clue for each one of those. Before we move on to round number 2, which is entitled Father's Day. So I hope you've all enjoyed Father's Day, or those of you which are fathers. And if you're not fathers, your father's fathers, or your father's father's father. Sorry, that came from a silly sketch. Right then, I will now help my lovely assistant go over the answers to the first round. Let's see how many 10 out of 10s we've got in this first round. Obviously tonight's quiz, because there's 10 in the first round and not 13 as on Wednesday, maximum score tonight will be 60 points. Will be 60 points tonight. So question number 1, the Spanish word El Domingo translates directly as which day of the week? That was Sunday. I'm sure most of you would have got that. Number 2, an usher, of course, shows people to their seats in theatres and auditoriums. Number 3, a former capital of China, because there's been many of them, was a place called Nanking, or Nanjing. You spelt it with a K or a J, it doesn't matter. Nanking, where Imperial Japanese troops massacred various people. The 2-word name for that period of European history was known as the Dark Ages. I'm sure we all learned that at school. Although a lot of people don't understand what period was actually called the Dark Ages, but never mind. Literally meaning little bitter. That drink I was after was called amaretto. Well done if you got that. The major fasting day, or also known as the Day of Atonement, is Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur. Number 7 in the standard UK edition of the popular game Monopoly. How many title deed cards are there? There are 28. 28. There are 4 stations, 2 utilities, and the rest are all properties that you all know, I'm sure. Number 8 in the game of darts. What's the highest achievable score with 3 darts? I trust that must be, if they're in separate scoring zones, a triple 20, triple 19, triple 18, should give you 171 total score. Number 9, that name for a sheath for holding a sword or a knife is a scabbard. And finally, number 10, that band I was after were called the Tremolos. The Tremolos, with Silence is Golden. That was a cover version of the Four Seasons. Oh, excellent. Well, good evening to you, Steve, if you've joined us and just watching on YouTube. Do feel free to join the quiz group and put your 4 pennyworth in. It's only a matter of just sending messages, but yeah, we'll have to see. Anyway, let's have some scores in and see how we've fared after this first round. Right. No Sif. Yes, Sif. Hi, Sif. Where is Sif? Oh, dear God, has Sif just joined us or what? He was around late last week, Sif was, but never mind. He can't be accused of ever being late, Sif. So Robin's just put no Sif. Leslie, yes, Sif. Oh, yeah, he's here. Right, he's there. Here we go then. Right, we've got Chili Willy and Joe with a very respectable 8. We got Don Quixote with 10. We've got Squeaky Pod with 10. We've got the Rotary Club of Rugby with 9. Wait a minute. Oh dear, it's just gone off the screen. Sarah and the gang from Worcester on 8. We've got the Booby Prize Girls on 8. We've got Helen and Steve Valentine on 10. Home Alone 6 on 10. I couldn't count the utilities because they are not properties, they are utilities. I did say title cards, I didn't actually say properties. Anyway, Michelle's on 8. Nick Roberts is on 8. Martin Davis, amazingly 10. Grant Gifford's on 10. Chris Speak on 9. Last week's winner's dropped a point already. We got the famous 5. John O'Rourke and the famous 5 on 10. Footy Fox 86 on 7. Anthony Ridgway and the gang, the Ridgways on 9. Carrie Mitchell on 10. Great score. Ian, Julian, Harrier on 10. Got Paul Lewis from Quizzy Rascals on 9. We've got PRS on 10. Andrew Lewis is on 10. Sif is on 9, or Leslie Barrett. Pinky and Perky, Diane and Alexa are on 9. Nicky Bowser's on 8. We've got Johnny Callahan, Ice Ice Baby on 10. Greg Pugh's on 9, dropping 1 point somewhere. Pick a mixture on 7. That's a shame, but never mind. Anthony Pugh's on a 10. Nicky Bowers, hello Jim. Oh, Split the Difference are on 10. Evening, Steve, if you're watching Grand Final, hello Jim. We've got a few people saying hello Jim. I better not do my Jim impression, but anyway. Hello, Jackie. That's our Friday night live or whatever. Friday night dinner even, yes. Hello, Jackie. You're looking nice tonight. Right then, scores are all in, I think, just about. So there's some we've got some, and Great White's on 10 as well. So we've got some great scores in tonight. We got Karen in with us. Sorry, Karen, I missed you. It's Gillian Pugh. You said properties. Did I say properties? Did I title deed cards? I don't know. It's in the question. You can go back over the chat and have a look at it. Perhaps I didn't make that as clear as I might have done. How many I did say title deed cards. It is in the question. If you go back, title deed cards, they do include utilities and stations. That's a shame. But do feel if you're hard done by that question, and you actually counted them correctly but incorrectly, give yourself a half point. I'm more than happy to do that if you misunderstood the question. Right then, round number 2 is entitled Father's Day. Father's Day. We have 10 questions all about fathers and Father's Day. Mostly to do with fathers, nothing to do with Father's Day, but never mind. Right, here we go then. Are we ready? Eyes down, look in. Now listen carefully because there's a big clue in this one. You can't go wrong, surely. Nobody can get this one wrong, but they could. In the Western Christian calendar, the 19th of March marks the feast day of which saint? Husband of the Blessed Virgin Mary and father of Jesus Christ. And he was known as something or other. So come on, can't be that hard. In the Western Christian calendar, the 19th of March marks the feast day of which saint? Husband of the Blessed Virgin Mary and father of Jesus Christ. What was his name? Saint something or other. Question number 2 is another little bit more of history. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with it. You've got 60 again. What's that? You got 60. We got to miss it. But you only get half a point for misunderstanding, so you can only get a maximum of 30 then, Robin. Is that not right? Anyway, sorry. Trying to put me off my stride, aren't you? Question number 2. First celebrated in 1919. Which country holds Defender of the Fatherland Day on the 23rd of February each year to commemorate the first mass draft of troops into its Red Army? Come on, that can't be that hard. So first celebrated in 1919. Which country holds Defender of the Fatherland Day on the 23rd of February each year to commemorate the first mass draft of troops into its Red Army? I suppose there's a few Red Armies around the world, but not many. Oh, ow. Struggling. Question number 3. This is more difficult. This for you. Trying to think who's going to get this one. Ian Wilson might get this one. Question number 3. Who currently holds the title Father of the House? The member of the House of Commons who has the longest continuous service. So who currently holds the title Father of the House? The member of House of Commons who has the longest continuous service. It was that Tory, what's his name? I'm thinking, till he got beaten at the last election. Who the hell was it? Wait a minute. Right. Whilst you're working that one out, I'm trying to think who the last one was. I've forgotten. But Tory boy. Oh, I know. Yeah, I do know. Right then, are we ready? Question number 4. Listen carefully. Which famous singer-songwriter who died in 2016, that's a big clue, released Father Figure, a song from his 1987 studio album called Faith? The song reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. So question number 4 again, there is a clue in there because he only died the other year. Which famous singer-songwriter who died in 2016 released Father Figure, a song from his 1987 debut studio album Faith? The song reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Just checking something as we go. Now I've lost it altogether. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Sorry. I hope you can still watch me while I'm doing that. Right, question number 5. Starring Dermot Morgan. Need I go any further? What was the name of the sitcom set on the fictional Craggy Island, a remote location off Ireland's west coast? So, starring Dermot Morgan, what was the name of the sitcom set on the fictional Craggy Island, a remote location off Ireland's west coast? Question 6 is an easy one to mix up because there were a few of them in those times. Question 6. Which ancient Greek mathematician was often referred to as the founder of geometry or the father of geometry? So, which ancient Greek mathematician was often referred to as the founder of geometry or the father of geometry? It's an easy one to get mixed up with the father of mathematics. No Googling that one. Just use your brains as teams, I'm sure. You mean the Fly on the Wall documentary? No, I'm not quite with you there. Never mind. Question number 7. Listen carefully. Removing the bails from a wicket. What name is given to the weather vane which can be seen at Lord's Cricket Ground in London? Or what does it depict? So, removing the bails from a wicket. What name is given to the weather vane which can be seen at Lord's Cricket Ground in London? You know the name of the round, so that's what I'm after. It's perhaps not as clear as it might be, that one, but never mind. You know what I'm after, I'm sure. Question number 8 is a bit of a daft programme, if you've ever watched it. Very light-hearted detective thing. Question 8, based on numerous detective stories by G.K. Chesterton, which detective drama began airing on BBC One in 2013? It features Mark Williams as the eponymous crime-solving Roman Catholic priest, bumbling around solving crimes. It's a bit silly. It's one of the yes, we have watched it. It's a bit of a silly program, very light-hearted. It's a bit like the one on the Channel Islands, whatever that one is. So, based on numerous detective stories by G.K. Chesterton, which detective drama began airing on BBC One in 2013? It features Mark Williams as the eponymous crime-solving Roman Catholic priest. Remember, it is Father's Day, so Father might be in the answer, of course. And following on Father's Day questions, the Latin expression pater nostra literally translates as what into English? Martin Davis has just said, we watched episode 1 last week, too silly, won't be doing episode 2. You're right, it was a bit silly. So question 9 again, the Latin expression pater nostra literally translates as what into English? You can have a go at that one. I might give you half a point if you get half of it right. And finally, question number 10. This is a tricky one. All of you will have held them in your hand at one time. The last paper £20 note was introduced in 2007. It featured a portrait of which Scottish economist who was given the posthumous title, the father of capitalism? 2-word answer. Everybody's seen it. It's on the back of every £20 note, well, the old ones. So the last paper £20 note was introduced in 2007. No rustling in your wallets to get the old ones out. It featured a portrait of which Scottish economist who was given the posthumous title, the father of capitalism? All good quizzes have got to know what banknote people are on banknotes. Well, especially British banknotes. We're not going to know what's on the French banknotes, are we? That was a tough round. There were 1 or 2 in there that weren't very easy, to be fair. So very well done if you can get all 10 of these. We will see. Obviously, Martin Davis thinks he knows the Detective one by G.K. Chesterton even. Right, then we're hovering about 82, 83 teams in and out at the moment. So let us see. I don't think there's anything there we need to particularly work out. Are you all right? You got all the answers in there? I will give you another 30 seconds. Anybody need any longer? Just quickly let me know in the column. If you've got consensus in your team, it's not easy. I know if there's 5 or 6 in the team and you're trying to get some answers in, especially whoever is correlating those answers. Well, nobody's come up with any more time, so I will do some marking after round number 2. Right, here we go then. In the Western Christian calendar, the saint I was after was Saint Joseph, of course. Jesus Christ's father, Joseph. Number 2, the country I was after, of course, was Russia. Number 3, the current holder of Father of the House, that was tricky. It is Sir Peter Bottomley. Sir Peter Bottomley. Number 4, which famous singer-songwriter who died released father figure? That was George Michael with his album Faith. Number 5, starring Dermot Morgan. What was the name of the sitcom? That was called Father Ted. That's pretty straightforward. Number 6, the ancient Greek mathematician that was often referred to as the founder or the father of geometry was Euclid. Euclid, well done if you got that. That was easy to get wrong because Archimedes was also called the father of mathematics. So Euclid was what I was after. Number 7, removing the bails from a wicket. The weather vane is called Old Father Time. Number 8, I was after that silly, well, some people might enjoy it. The eponymous crime-solving Roman Catholic priest is better known as Father Brown. Number 9, Pater Nostra literally translates as our Father or our Father. Half a point for each of those. And finally, number 10, the last paper, £20 note, had the capitalists John Adams. John Adams was his name. He became known as the father of capitalism even. I'll remember that in a minute, won't I? Right then, let's have some scores in, see how we've done. That was a tricky round. And it gets even worse. Oh, no, it doesn't. We've got trivia trial. That's pretty straightforward. So, yeah, 10 questions on fathers. We have Home Alone with 17 points. Carrie Measure with 17 points. Sarah with 6. You must have more than that, Sarah, because you had more than 6 in the first place. Total scores, please. Michelle got 16.5. Grant Gifford was 17. Adam Smith, yes. Have you never heard of Adam Smith? Anson Pugh was 17. Mick Roberts was 16. Chris Beak, 15.5. Sarah's 14. Anthony Ridgway, 6. Didn't I put Adam Smith? What did I say? Oh, it is Adam Smith. Sorry, I've got that wrong. Ah, sorry, I've got last one wrong. Why did I put John Adams in? It is Adam Smith. Oh, I made it complete. Right. Let me just, he was. Of course he was. I know John Adams was president. Sorry, I've gone and cocked up. Answer number 10 was Adam Smith. So give yourself another point for that. I'm sorry, it was Adam Smith on the back of the £20 note, not John Adams. So it's all right. It's my brain going wrong. So you might need to just re-go over that one, but don't mind. It's definitely Adam Smith. So give yourselves a point for Adam Smith, and I will go back over. So we have, wait a minute, Chili Willy on 17.5. Hilary Jobs on 16.7. I'm not quite sure where that comes from. Johnny Callan on 18. We got Michelle and the gang on 17.5. We have PRS on 19. We have Jill Pugh on 18.5. We got the Quizzy Rascals on 18. Karen Pennington and the Blackpool Boomers on 16.5. Mike Yates is on 19 then. Very good. Carrie Mitchell's on 18 then. Yes, sorry about that, gang. Squeaky Pob's on 17.5. Helen and Steve Valentine's on 17. Alex Brown's on 17. We've got Don Quixote on 20. Pinky and Perky on 15. Gillian Pugh's on 18. We've got Quizzy Rascals. Sorry about this because I've obviously cocked that up. Greg Pugh's on 18. I'll perhaps go around. Do feel free to correct your answers. I'm sorry about that last one. It was Adam Smith on the back of the £20 note. God knows where I've got John Adams from. I must have been doing a bit of, wasn't he the third president of the United States? I can't remember. George Washington. It was Quincy Adams. Oh, never mind. Oh, I'm going to blame it on my bad shoulder for putting me off here, but never mind. A recount. So we've got Nikki Bowers on 15.5 now. Anybody else want to put a recount, whatever, down there? Jenny Graham and friends are on 18. We've got the Famous Five on 19. Split the difference on 20. Martin Davis is now a change for 17.5. Master error in R5. Yes, Squeaky Bob on 18. So some great scores there tonight. Roy Jordan, in which case we've got 21.5. Well done, Roy. Fantastic score. Come on, Roy. What do you on? 16, 17, 18, something like that. Right. I was just waiting to see who was going to correct me with that one. Yeah. I was waiting to see who was going to point out that incorrect answer, but never mind. Right, here we go then. Trivia Trail. Now remember, the last letter of the first answer is the first letter of your next answer. So question number 1. This has a number of words in the answer, but it's pretty straightforward. The fictional Caribbean island, are we ready? The fictional Caribbean island of San Marie is the setting for which long-running television crime series? So question 1 again. The fictional Caribbean island of San Marie is the setting for which long-running television crime series? Right, take the last letter of that answer, and it is the first letter of this answer. Question number 2, which variety of Dutch semi-hard cheese is often seen as being made backwards? Bought a gallon of Tipex last week, big mistake. You don't make as many mistakes as I do, I tell you, Nikki, but never mind. So question 2 again, which variety of Dutch semi-hard cheese is often seen as being made backwards? Stupid question now, but never mind. Question number 3, this is for all our Blackpool friends. Come on, Karen, you'll get this one. Which Lancashire Bay contains the islands of Barrow, Chapel, Foundling, and Sheep, of all things? So which Lancashire Bay contains the islands of Barrow, Chapel, Foundling, and Sheep. I think that's Foulney, actually. Do remember to take the last letter of your cheese, and it's the first letter of that bay. And take the last letter of that bay, and it's the first letter of number 4. Question number 4. Oh, Great White's got 18. Well done, Great White. Oh, I know it takes a bit of time to get our scores in from Canada. Must have sent them by telegraph. Never mind. Great to see it. That's a very respectable score, 18. Right, here we go then. Question number 4, starting with the last letter of your previous answer. In the television series Dad's Army, this is a typical quiz question. What is the first name of Captain Mainwaring's wife, who is often referred to but never seen? So in the television sitcom Dad's Army, what is the first name of Captain Mainwaring's wife, who is often referred to but never seen? Are you referring to Pony Express? It's just arrived in the post. It's not bad, actually, from Canada. Obviously, that's just a one-word answer. So take the last letter of that answer. It's the first letter of this one. In 1898, which British department store was the first in the world to install an escalator? So in 1898, which British department store was the first in the world to install an escalator? Joe Pigeon. Oh, dear God. Right, take the last letter of that department store, and it's the first letter of number 6. This is one Chris will know, I'm sure. Which nerve is formed by the union of 5 nerve roots from the lower spine, then passes deep in the buttock and down the back of the thigh all the way to the sole of the foot? Great White saying, hello, Penningtons. Hello. So which nerve is formed by the union of 5 nerve roots from the lower spine, then passes deep in the buttock and down the back of the thigh, all the way to the sole of the foot? Just a one-word answer I'm after, just a one-word answer. Take the last letter of the word that I'm after, and it is the first letter of question number 7, or answer number 7 even. Named after a range of mountains in Eastern Europe, what was the name of the ship which rescued some 700-odd passengers and crew from the RMS Titanic in 1912? So one-word answer I'm after. So named after a range of mountains in Eastern Europe, what was the name of the ship which rescued some 700 passengers and crew from RMS Titanic in 1912? It's just a one-word answer. I don't want HMS, RMS, anything like that. It's just a one-word answer, just the name. Karen, I hope you got the Lancashire Bay question. Surely. Do you remember it's trivia trial? So take the last letter of that answer. It's the first letter in the next one. Right then. Having taken the last letter of that ship's name, which is the first letter of this. Question number 8. What one word can precede the words bodied, rating, and seaman to give 3 new 2-word phrases? So what one word can precede the words bodied, rating, and seaman to give 3 new 2-word phrases? Oh. Well, the thing is, are we going to come out much out of lockdown over the next week or two? There are a number of people that don't want to come out at all. Others that think we should come out completely. It's getting a bit iffy at the moment, but never mind. My mother-in-law is still in lockdown. Doesn't want to really come out. She does want to come out, but she doesn't feel like she ought to. Question number 9. Listen carefully. Take the last letter of your previous answer. That's the first letter of this. Mons Meg is a medieval canon in the collection of the Royal Armouries and is on loan to historic Scotland. But in which castle can it currently be seen? It's quite straightforward. You've got a letter. So Mons Meg is a medieval canon in the collection of the Royal Armouries and is on loan to historic Scotland. But in which castle can it currently be seen? You've got a letter, make it pay. Well, let's hope you've got the letter. And take the last letter of that city and is the first letter of question or answer to number 10. Listen carefully. What is the small two-door car introduced by Triumph of Coventry in 1959? The body design was by the Italian stylist Giovanni Michelotti. I think it's Michelotti. So what is a small two-door car introduced by Triumph of Coventry in 1959? The body design was by the Italian stylist Giovanni Michelotti. It's just a one-word answer I'm after. I just need the model name. And the last letter of the model name will take you back right away to number 1. So the last letter of to the answer to number 10 is in fact the first letter of answer number 1. So I will give you a minute to just work those out because there may be one or two you've got missing. Just try and fill in the blanks. That's all you've got to do. I'm sure Home Alone 6 will get that last one there. Now, her dad was a keen Triumph car collector. Got a few, hadn't he, Carol? I think he had. I don't know. Has he still got his Type 2000? I don't know. Right, looks like I'm out of beer, so I'm going to have to ask my trusty assistant to come over and replenish my glass. I'm going to try Jono's beer now. I don't know what he bought me, but he bought me something. Yes, let me just... It looks a bit deceiving, so I'm not quite sure what it is. It clearly says 10% on it, so facts. It's got a picture of a Viking on there. So Facts Brewery in Denmark. We'll see what it tastes like. There's quite a lot in there. Oh, it's a litre. Oh God, a litre at 10%. I might not be able to stand by the end of this. We'll see. Right then, everybody, here we go. Yes, it might deaden my pain at the moment. God, bloody shoulder. Never mind. Whatever you do, don't come off bikes. I've done it before on my motorbike when I was 17. I vowed never to come off a bike again. But never mind. Right then, trivia trail. Let's go through the answers. Let's see who's got their 10 out of 10 in this round. Question 1, the fiction Caribbean island of Saint Maria is the setting for which long-running television crime series? I think it's in series 12 now or something like that. It's Death in Paradise. The last letter of that, the E, should give you which variety of Dutch semi-hard cheese is often seen as being made backwards. Well, if you spell made backwards, stupidly, you get Edam. Edam is made backwards. Yeah, it's very funny. That gives you the M, of course, for Morecambe Bay. Morecambe Bay. I think you're right, Karen, it is. It's lifting those heavy beer glasses. But I've been on a pint glass tonight, not my litre glass, which is obviously heavier. Yeah, the Lancashire Bay I wanted was Morecambe Bay. I trust you got that, Karen and the gang. I gave you the E, of course, for Elizabeth. That was Captain Mannering's wife, was known as Elizabeth. Well done if you got that. That gave you the H for the department store Harrods, which in turn gave you the S for the sciatic nerve. That gave you the C for the Carpathia. Well done if you got the Carpathia. It went on to be sunk by some German U-boat during whatever it was, World War II, I don't know. No, it must have been World War One. That gave you the A, of course, for able, as in able-bodied, able rating, and able seaman. That gave you the E for Edinburgh, as in the castle, which in turn gave you the H for the Herald, the Triumph Herald, which was first introduced in 1959 and was styled by Giovanni Michelotti. So well done if you got that, or worked it out. So the beauty of Trivia Trials is the fact you can kind of work those out a little bit. Never mind. What's your thought? Thought Dad's Army question had ended. Thought Dad's Army questions had ended. Oh, so why? Do you want a few more then, Dave? I love Dad's Army questions. But, right, here we go then. We've got Ian, 28 points. Ian, wait a minute. Ian, Harry and Julian with Ian, 28. We got Chili Willy with 27.5. Squeaky Bob with 27.5. Famous Five on 29 points. Helen and Steve Valentine on 27. We got Perry Mitchell on 27 points. We've got Don Quixote on 30 points. Haven't dropped a point yet. We've got Johnny Callan on 28. We've got Mick Roberts on 26. We have... Oh, God, we've gone off the screen again. Sorry, we've got Mick Roberts on 26. Anthony Ridgway and the gang and the Ridgways on 26.5. We've got Pinky and Perky on 25. We've got Sif on Leslie Barrett even 27.5 points. Anthony Pugh on a very respectable 27. We've got Grant Gifford on 27. We've got Martin Davis on 26.5. Kevin Keenan and the Rugby Roach Club on 29.5 points. That's a very good score. Chucky Skip, Booby Price Girls are on 25. Sarah and the gang from Worcester on 22 points. We've got Alec Brown's on 26. Mike Yates, 29 points. That's some going. Andrew Lewis on 25 points. We've got Home Alone, 6 on 27 points. Jill Pugh from Cambridge on 27.5 points. Chris Speaks on 26.5 points. Come on, Chris. A little bit of catching up, not too far behind, though. Karen Pennington, woohoo, with a 10 on 26.5 points. Then we got, oh, blimey. Oh, sorry. Michelle Gibbons from Crick on 26.5 points. We got Split the Difference, haven't dropped a point either, on 30 points. Nicky Bowers on 25.5 points. Our campaign against Dad's Army questions is not prospering. Paula Lewis on 28 points. Greg Hughes on 28 points. We've got PRS on 29 points. Jenny Graham and friends on 27 points. Pick a Mix really coming up now on 25 points. Mark Gannerton from Norwich on 22 points. Footy Fox 86 on 19.5 points. That's a shame, but never mind. Everybody's doing really well tonight. So, what's that? Oh, probably. I don't know, to be fair. I could have a look at that. Yeah, the old Canes Brewery in Liverpool. That came from somewhere else as well, didn't it? Chili Willy, it's Father's Day. You have to have Dad's Army questions. I like Dad's Army questions. Anyway, Mr. Captain Bunny, because I always put something about, I was waiting for somebody to notice that one, you know, especially when you make mistakes. It's a great quote to come up with. Is this the 10%er? Well, it's very light. It doesn't taste like 10%. I'm not convinced that's 10%, but never mind. Does it say 10% ABV or just 10%? I need to have a look on the tin for that. We'll see. And we've got, a few more scores coming there. We've got Big Mix, Mark Johnson, Footy, and we've got Great White on 28 points all the way. All the way from Chepstow and Canada. So that's a great score, 28. Don't tell him your name, Nick. I won't, Roy. We shall love Dad's Army and Father Ted. Excellent, good. I'm glad we've got some fans of Dad's Army. We'll have plenty more Dad's Army questions. See whether we can put Don Quixote, because they love Dad's Army. They want more, apparently. So we'll see. Right then, round number 4. We had round the UK last week. Didn't go down very well, so I thought we'd have round France. So let's see how we're fair with round France. Not as difficult as you may think. Very straightforward. 10 questions about France and some loosely based on something to do with France. So I don't know how many of you go to France regularly, but we will see. Here we go then. Question number 1. Dating from 1284. Chateau Lafite Rothschild is a wine estate that can be found in which famous French wine growing area? It's not that many of them. It's one of the major ones. So here we go. Dating from 1284, Chateau Lafite Rothschild is a wine estate that can be found in which famous French wine growing area? Come on, Sif. Surely you're not a francophobe, are you? Is that right? I don't know. Francophobe? Is that somebody? That sounds about right for somebody that doesn't like France. Oh, bother. Might have that in the questions in a minute. Where is France? Over Daventry Way. Well, we'll see. Question number 2. Come on, everybody must get this one, because there is a rugby connection with this. I'm sorry for people from Canada and Cambridge. Starring Gordon Kay, which British sitcom focuses on the life of a French cafe owner in Nouvion during the German occupation of France in the Second World War? So, starring Gordon Kay, which British sitcom focuses on the life of a French cafe owner in Nouvion during the German occupation of France in the Second World War. And one of the characters was fairly close to home. Well, close to rugby, that is. Sorry for all you that don't come from rugby, but never mind. Question number 3 is a lot easier than you think, so just listen carefully. You'll all get this. Who was a French civil engineer and architect who made his name with various bridge designs for the French railway network, most famously the Garabit Viaduct? Might not be pronounced particularly well, but never mind. So, who was a French civil engineer and architect who made his name with various bridge designs for the French railway network, most famously the Garabit Viaduct? We also, me and Ange went on holiday and saw one of his designs in Vietnam as well. Not that she'll remember that. Oh, she does. Oh, she does. In Hanoi, I think it was a bridge going into Hanoi, so very impressive. Dave said, if Father Brown is silly, where does that leave Murder in Paradise? You're right. They're both daft, really, but never mind. You've got to ask which is dafter. Which one would you actually watch? I like the way in Death in Paradise, they line all the suspects up at the end, It's a bit like a Poirot thing, isn't it? They get all of them in the same room and point the finger at them. Question number 4, listen carefully. This was in the news last week. Regarded as one of the most important speeches in French history, who made the appeal of the 18th of June after his arrival in London in 1940, following the fall of France? So this was in the news only last week. Regarded as one of the most important speeches in French history, who made the appeal of the 18th of June after his arrival in London in 1940, following the fall of Free France, as it was? And all he tells us was none to everything. No. No. Ah, well. Well, just book a trip, Michelle. Just go. You don't have to wait on it. Flights are cheap at the moment. You can get out there. Where is it filmed? I'm not quite sure where it's filmed, but you might be able to correct me. It's got to be a Caribbean island, surely. Isn't it? It's probably filmed in the Maldives or something. You see if it's not. Question number 5. Which famous art gallery housed famous works such as The Raft of Medusa, The Mona Lisa, and The Wedding at Cana? That should be houses, not house. So question 5 again. Which famous art gallery houses works such as The Raft of Medusa, The Mona Lisa, and The Wedding at Cana? Come on, everybody. I'm sure we'll all get that one. Question number 6 is a little trickier, but not too difficult. With a population of approximately 1 million residents and a Mediterranean coastline, what is classified as France's second largest city? So question 6 again. With a population of approximately 1 million residents and a Mediterranean coastline, what is classified as France's second largest city? I'm surprised it's not a bit bigger, I have to say, but there you go. I told you it wasn't hard, this French round. Perhaps have a German round next week. My friend Robin Miller, he loves Germany, so maybe we can have a German round next week. Oh, Canadian round, yes, German round, Canadian round. Oh, what was that bloody mountain in Germany again? I keep forgetting the ice mountain in Germany. I can't recall it off the top of my head. Question number 7, listen carefully. At a height of 15,774 feet, that's not approximate, but about that, and the second highest mountain in Europe, what is the name of France's highest mountain, which is situated on the border between France and Italy? A good question would be, whose song is the theme tune for Death in Paradise? The theme tune. He sang, it wasn't Dennis Waterman, was it? He sang the theme tune. Sorry, I'm being stupid. So at a height of 15,774 feet, on the second highest mountain in Europe, what is the name of France's highest mountain, which is situated on the French-Italian border? Guadeloupe. Yeah, one of the lesser Antilles, Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe. Sounds French to me. But is it Guadeloupe? Isn't that where they had the Montserrat? Guadeloupe, I think, speaks English, doesn't it? Guadeloupe. I don't think it's French at all. Right, question number 8. This is tricky. Listen carefully. Question number 8. The decimal monetary system was introduced during the turbulent years of the French Revolution, with the franc being the base unit of currency. But what coin was worth 1/100th of a franc? You'll all have heard of it. Oh yeah, the Zeigspeed. Zeigspeed? Zeigspeed. Zeigspeed. Something like that. Zeigspeed? I don't know. So question 8 again. The decimal monetary system was introduced during the turbulent years of the French Revolution, with the franc being the base unit of currency. But what coin was worth 100? Zugspitz. Well done, Robin. I can't have that next week if you've already put it in, can I? But what coin was worth 1/100th of a franc? Actually, I'll leave that there because most people don't actually take any notice of it. Zugspitz. That was a tricky one. It's a name you'll have all have heard of, but whether you can recall it. So Guadeloupe is a French area in Caribbean. Isn't it English speaking though, Guadeloupe? No, it's Montserrat Montserrat was French and that had the oh god, that had the big explosion, didn't it, the other year, the volcano. Anyway, question number 9, listen carefully. Who is the main protagonist in a series of books written by René Goscinny, whose inhabitants are made invincible by a magic potion created by the druid Getafix? So who is the main protagonist in a series of books written by René Goscinny, whose inhabitants are made invincible by a magic potion created by the druid Getafix? So 3-word answer I'm after for that. It's not been too hard, has it? The French round. Oh, I thought it could be tougher, but never mind. Perhaps I should have put a bit of French. Yeah, a bit of French. Yeah, but I'm no good at French. Nearly as good as my German, but never mind. Question number 10. Who was a French microbiologist and chemist renowned for his discoveries of the principles of vaccination and pasteurization? Come on, another easy one there. That's a two-word answer. So who was a French microbiologist and chemist renowned for his discoveries of the principles of vaccination and pasteurization, amongst other things? There was plenty. I could have gone on there, but I didn't. I keep being warned that my questions are too long, so I'll try and keep them there. Never mind. We like padding them out a bit to make them more difficult. Right then, let's see how we've all fared after that. I don't think possibly we need any more time, do we? I don't know. Maybe if a team is talking to other members in different places, do you need any more time? Just quickly write in the chat column if you need a bit more time to get your answers in from your friends. I know what it's like when you're trying to communicate across the Atlantic between Chepstow and Toronto, for instance. Right then. Okay, I think we've probably had time on that. So we go back and we'll see how many we've scored on that round. So some good scores again. Not catching you lot out very well tonight, are we? Zugspitz, yes. Well done, Kevin. That's right. We'll have a German round maybe next week. Everything's to do with Germany. Question number 2. Sorry, here we go then. Round France. Question 1 was a bit tricky. Dating from 1285, Chateau Lafitte Rothschild is basically comes from the Bordeaux area of France. Bordeaux was what I was after. Number 2 was the sitcom called Allo Allo. Number 3, of course, was Gustave Eiffel, as in the Eiffel Tower. But I've given you that. I gave it away, obviously. Number 4 was Charles de Gaulle, who gave that to call to all the French people in France, broadcast on the BBC. Number 5, the Louvre, of course, the Louvre in Paris. Number 6 was Marseille, which is France's largest city, or second largest city. Number 7, at a height, the second highest mountain in Europe, behind Elbrus, of course, is Mont Blanc. Number 8, that coin I was after is the Centime. The Centime. It's spelled Centime, C-E-N-T-I-M-E, the Centime. Well done if you got that. Number 9, of course, was Asterisk de Gaulle. And finally, number 10 was a guy called Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur, as in pasteurization. Very good. Where else did the name pasteurization come from? Right then, let's have some scores in, see how we've fared. I think we've got some pretty high scores tonight. Can I catch anybody out with any of my questions? I don't know. I thought some of the earlier ones were pretty tricky. We've got Chilly Willy with 36.5. Mick Roberts with 36 points out of 40. That's some good going. Well done, Mick Roberts and Chilly Willy. Right, we've got Michelle on 35.5. We've got Martin Davis, 36.5. We've got Anthony Ridgway, 36.5. Sarah's on 32. We've got Carrie Mitchell on 36. We've got Helen and Steve on 37. We've got Alex Brown, 36. We've got the Rugby Road. No, we haven't. Yes, Rugby Road Club, 39.5. We've got Mike Yates on 38. Don Quixote on 40 points. We've got John O'Rourke, Famous 5 on 38. Andy Hughes on 37. Chris Speaks on 34.5. We've got Graham Giffen on 36. We've got Leslie Barrett on 35. Nicky Bowers on 32.5. Ian, Harry and Julie are on 38 points. Johnny Callahan, 38 points. Squeaky Bob on 35.5. We've got Jill Pugh on 37.5. We've got the Booby Prize Girls on 32. We've got Karen Pennington, the Backball Boomers, on 35.5 points. That's brilliant out of 40. We've got PRS on 39 points. We've got Home Alone on 36. Greg Pugh on 38 points. We've got Paul Lewis on 38 points. There was me thinking it was a tough quiz tonight. Never mind. Footy Fox on 24.5 points. Andrew Lewis is on 30 points. Split the difference on 40 points. We got Pinky and Perky on 34. We got Jenny Graham and Friends on 37. Pick and Mix on 34 points. Still awaiting scores in Mark Gannon's on 30 points. Well done, Mark. We've still got points to come in from our friends in Canada and Chepstow, but we'll wait for those in a second. It is tough. I just have a really smart team. Well done, Paula. Fair play. And it is. I didn't think they were particularly easy, some of those questions tonight. French round wasn't that hard, but never mind. We're keeping the scores fairly close. So we have got 39 from PRS. We've got a 38 from Johnny Callan. Ian's on a 38. We've got the famous 5 on 38. Don Quizzotti at the moment, 40 points, haven't dropped a point. We've got the Rugby Rotary Club on 39.5 points. We've got Split the Difference on 40 points. They haven't dropped a point. And then Steve Valentine on 37. So it's all very, very close at the top there. And we've got Chili Willy on 36.5. So anywhere there, you're doing really well. We've got 2 rounds to go, remember. So there's time to catch up. Now, rhyming pairs is an interesting round. We have 10 general knowledge questions where 5 of the answers rhyme with the other 5 answers. Most of them are one-word answers. The odd one is a 2-word answer. But most are just one-word answers. Right then, not including myself and the smart case. Don't give me that, Paula. Very, very smart. You always do very well, the Quizzy Rascals. And it rubs off, believe me. If you're in the smart team, you learn a lot. This is never 10%. Oh, sorry. Wow. It doesn't really, never mind. Right then, here we go then. Rhyming pairs. Now, do remember, 5 of the answers. Oh, bother, I've mucked the air up now. 5 of the answers rhyme with the other 5. Okay, we go. Oh, Great White have just come in with 38 points. So only 2 off the lead. Here we go then. Question number 1. Listen carefully. What type of period payment, that might sound a bit strange, but never mind, made to an employee has a name that is derived from a Latin word used to refer to a Roman soldier's allowance to buy salt? So what type of period payment, that's not very well worded, is it? Made to an employee. So when you make payments to an employee, how are they paid? Regular. I should have put regular payment, shouldn't I? Yeah. Forget period. Let's change that to regular. Oh, let's change it. Regular. Yeah, right. A type of regular payment made to an employee has a name that is derived from a Latin word used to refer to the Roman soldier's allowance to buy salt. That's an interesting one. Becomes very apparent if you get it right. Question number 2. What is the nickname of the cowardly slacker, and no putting Nick down, Norval Rogers, who is the long-time best friend of his equally cowardly Great Dane? So question 2 again. What is the nickname of the cowardly slacker known as Norval Rogers, who is the long-time best friend of his equally cowardly Great Dane? Just a one-word answer. Question number 3. Listen carefully. What girl's name has been the common title of hit singles by Steve Winwood in 1987 and Mark Ronson featuring Amy Winehouse in 2007? So question 3 again. What girl's name has been the common title of hit singles by Steve Winwood in 1987 and Mark Ronson featuring Amy Winehouse in 2007? I'll just get rid of the last bit of that. Question number 4, Liz. See the last bit of that question. Just get rid of it. So just 2 options. Question number 4. Listen carefully. What archaic unit of length can be defined as 66 feet or 22 yards? So what archaic unit of length can be defined as 66 feet or 22 yards, or the distance between the wickets, of course, on a cricket pitch? Hey, don't you start saying anything. Question number 5 is interesting. In 2000, who was nominated for Worst Actress of the Century at the Golden Raspberry Awards for her appearances in films which included Bolero, Ghosts Can't Do It, and Tarzan the Ape Man? So in the year 2000, who was nominated for Worst Actress of the Century at the Golden Raspberry Awards for her appearances in films including Bolero, Ghosts Can't Do It, and Tarzan the Ape Man? And I always thought it was the Bolero, but it's not. It's Bolero is the name of the film. I'm trying to think of the music. Was it Ravel? It was, wasn't it? Of course it was. Yes, of course it was. Ravel, another French. I should have had a French composer question, shouldn't I? Yes, never mind. Question number 6. Listen carefully. Which English city was originally called Eboracum when it was founded by the Romans in 71 AD? Although it wasn't a city at the time, it was just a little bit of wooden fort. So which English city was originally called Eboracum when it was founded by the Romans in 71 AD? Now, do remember all these answers have got to rhyme with another answer. So all you've got to do is keep looking at the answers and see which ones rhyme. Question number 7, typical quiz question, this one. What is the first name of the fictional amateur detective Miss Marple who appears in Agatha Christie's crime novels and short stories? So all you good quizzers should know this one. So what is the first name of the fictional amateur detective Miss Marple who appears in Agatha Christie's crime novels and short stories? It's just a one-word answer I'm after from that one. And it's not Rapunzel, you'll be pleased to know. Well, it's still quite bright. We went past the summer solstice, didn't we? So, second longest possible day today. Don't know how many hours, about 16, 17 hours of light, I think, but never mind. Nights will be drawing in towards Christmas now, so we better get, let's hope we can get back down the pub soon, but we'll see what we can do. I will be doing the, when he asks us to open, I will do the quiz live from the pub. That sounds far more like it to me, but never mind. God knows how I'll get there and back, but we'll see. Question number 8, here we go. What was the name of an English man born with severe deformities? He was first exhibited at a freak show as the Elephant Man in 1844 and went on to be well known in London society. I need his 2-word name after. So what was the name of an Englishman born with severe deformities? He was first exhibited at a freak show as the Elephant Man in 1844 and went on to be well known in London society. Come on, fight. I'm sure you know all these. How are you faring so far anyway? You're doing all right, aren't you? What's that? Oh, yes, all downhill from here. Yes, going down towards winter, but never mind. Question number 9. Easy one for Robin Miller, this one. What is the first name of the youngest of Homer and Marge Simpson's children? So what is the first name of the youngest of Homer and Marge Simpson's children? Apparently he drew the character in a waiting room. I don't know what he was waiting for. I think it was a dentist or a doctor or something. And he drew the character in the waiting room while he was waiting for his dental removal or whatever he was waiting for. I'm sure Robin will put me right there. He probably knows that one, but never mind. And finally, listen carefully, question number 10. After leaving a band called the Sugar Cubes, who released her first solo album debut in 1993, followed by her biggest selling single, It's Oh So Quiet, which reached number 4 in 1995. I forgot to put album in there. There's a word missing in that, but never mind. So question 10 again. After leaving a band called the Sugar Cubes, who released her first solo album called Debut in 1993, followed by her biggest selling single, It's Oh So Quiet, which reached number 4 in 1995. Right then, everybody. On it like a car bonnet. Well done. Well done if you got that. Right then, let's see how we've all fared then. Do we need any more time? We're happy with that. Do remember there should be 5 rhyming answers. 5 answers rhyme with the other 5. Rhyming pairs. Are we ready then for some marking? If anybody's not ready, just quickly put it in the chat column and we will see how... Christ. Right then, everybody, here we go. Answers to round number 5. What type of regular payment made to an employee has a name that is derived from the Italian word to refer to the soldier's allowance for salt? That's salary. Salary. Hold on if you got that. Salt, I suppose. What is the nickname of the cowardly slacker, Norval Rogers, who is the longtime best friend of the equally cowardly Great Dane? Of course, that's Shaggy, as in Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo was the Great Dane, and he was, Norval Rogers was in called Shaggy. Number 2, the girl's name that's been common title of Steve Winwood hit. That is Valerie. Well done, Valerie. Number 4, what arcane unit of length can be defined as 66 feet or 22 yards? That is a chain. A chain. Well done if you got that. In 2000, Who was nominated for Worst Actress of the Century? It was Bo Derek. Bo Derek. Don't think she did much acting, really, did she? To be fair. Number 6, the city, which was formerly called, known as Eberacum by the Romans, and founded in 71 AD, was York, of course, as in the Ebor race every year at York. Number 7, what is the first name of the fictional amateur detective Miss Marple, who appears in Agatha Christie's crime novels? That was Jane. It's Jane Marple. Number 8, the name of that Englishman born with severe deformities. He was known as Joseph Merrick. Joseph Merrick. Half a point for each of those. Number 9, what's the first name of the youngest of Homer and Margie Simpson's children? She was known as Margaret, also known as Maggie. I will give you a point for either, to be fair, but it was Margaret. And finally, number 10, after leaving the band called the Sugar Cubes, it was Bjork, of course, that released It's Oh So Quiet, Bjork. And you will find 5 of those answers rhyme with the other 5. So let's have some scores in, see how you fared before going to the last round, which, of course, tonight is just 10 general knowledge, silly questions. So, Chilly Willy, we have on 46.5 points. They've only dropped 3.5 there. Ian, they've only dropped 2.5. They're on 47.5 points. We've got Alex Brown on 45. We've got Don Quizzotti with a clear 50 out of 50. Carol Jackson, Home Alone on 46. We've got Carrie Mitchell on 46. Got me Roberts on 42. Sarah from Worcester's on 42. We've got Leslie Barrett on 45.5. Mike Yates, 47. Jenny and Graham on 47. There's some great scores. We have Johnny Callahan on 47.5. Robbie Rocher Club only dropped half a point, 49.5 points. Andrew Ridgway, fantastic in the Ridgways on 46. Picked by Anthony Pugh on 47. Come on, Anthony Ridgway, see if we can beat them. Pick a mix on 44. We got Graham Gifford from Cambridge on 45.5 points. We got Jackie Skip and the Booby Prize Girls on 41.5 points. Helen and Steve Valentine still in a winning position here, 47 points. Andrew Lewis on 38. We got where are we? Oh bother, I've missed it now. Andrew Lewis was on 38. Michelle Gibbons 45.5 points from cricket. Paula Lewis with the Quizzy Rascals on 47.5 points. Martin Allison inspired guest Bo Derek with 46 points. John O'Rourke, the famous 5, 48 points. Come on, John, let's see whether we can win tonight. Squeaky Bob on 45. Chris Speaks on 41. What's happened tonight, Chris? Bad night tonight for Chris Speak, but that's a shame. Greg Pugh, 48 points, 2 behind the lead. Here we go. Into the last round. Jill Pugh's on 45.5. We've got Pinky and Perky on 42. We've got the Blackpool Boomers on 45.5 points. They've only dropped 4.5 points all night. We've got Footy Fox on 29.5 points. Well played down. We've got Matthew Blood and PRS also 48.5 points. Squeaky Bob's on 45.5. We've got Mark Gallantон on 34 points. So we'll just wait for our friends from Toronto to get their scoring. And the last round tonight basically is just 10 general knowledge questions. This is general trivia, and it's not that tricky either. So I think we might have some 10 out of 10s in this round as well. So it might be down to we've got Split the Difference on 50. We have, who else is on 50? We have Don Quizzotti on 50 points. So 2 teams on 50, plenty of you on 49.5. This is going to be interesting. See how we fare tonight. And I think some teams will get all 10 out of these, so we'll see. Didn't you say that all the answers were one word apart from one, which was 2? Didn't I imagine that? I think I said 2 were 2, but maybe I did say it. I said they were nearly all 2-word answers, all one-word answers. Did I? Oh, Leslie, stop letting me down. You're agreeing with Robin now. That's not good fun. Never mind. Right, are we ready? Let's not bother about that. Never mind. You did well anyway. You don't have to worry about that. Here we go then. Into the last round. General trivia. Question number 1. We all know this one. According to the proverb, the old proverb, what is said to be the mother of invention? So question number 1. According to the proverb, what is said to be the mother of invention? Now, no looking that up. Just put it down if you know it. If you don't know it, don't put it down. Robin, don't bother about it. It's a quiz. It's a bit of fun on a Sunday night. We could, of course, all be cursing watching Liverpool versus whoever they're playing Everton. What's the latest in the scores? I don't know. Has anybody scored? No. Has anybody scored actually tonight? I don't know what the score is at the moment. No, I haven't heard anything. Could be 0-0. That's what we need. A few draws. Need Liverpool to suddenly lose all of a sudden. 0-0. It is 0-0. Well done. Well, we're halfway through the game at least, surely. Right, question number 2. Frank, 0-0. Frank Zappa. What's that? 0-0. Question number 2. Listen carefully. Hans Riegel of Bonn formed which confectionery company in 1920, which went on to produce candy in 1922? Drop the coin. Drop. Just drop a little. Hans Riegel of Bonn formed which confectionery company in 1920, which went on to produce candy in 1922? Final score, brilliant. Come on, Man City. Or Man United. Ha! Final score, 0-0. Oh dear. I think Liverpool have lost their edge, surely. This could be the end of the season for them. Question number 3, listen carefully to this. Also the name of a large, even-toed ungulate, if you know what that is. What was the name of a band whose albums include Snow Goose, Nude, and Moon Madness? It's probably about people my age, I suppose, who should know this. So, also the name of a large, even-toed ungulate. What was the name of a band whose albums include the Snow Goose, Nude, and Moon Madness? Oh, sorry, Kevin. Well, you're not a Scouse fan, are you? Wait a minute, we just found out. Just let me know if you're a Scouser. Wait a minute. Kevin, I bloody recorded that. Thanks. It doesn't sound very interesting, Kevin. I'd give up on that. Or are you Evertonian? It's no good taking part in this quiz. Most of us are Man United fans. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. Ah, Great White's got their score in at 46.5. It started at 46 and they've upped it to 46.5, which is very good. Very respectable scores. Nice one, Mark. I like that. I recorded the 2012 London Olympics and I've not seen that yet. Robert. Well, of course, you're not a Man United. Robert, obviously. Well, you're not. Some of you are Crystal Palace fans. How's the golf going? I don't know. How is the golf going? Right then. Question number. Listen to the questions. Stop whittling on about what sport's been on television. Put us all off. Question number 4. This is an interesting one. 2020 vision. I put 220 vision, but it's 2020. 2020 vision is a term used to express normal visual acuity. But at what distance is it measured? I'll give you the choice. Is it 20 feet, 20 yards, or 20 meters? So listen carefully again. 2020 vision is a term used to express normal visual acuity. But at what distance is it measured? I'll give you the choice. Is it 20 feet, 20 yards, or 20 meters? Matthew Bird. Well done, Matthew. I'm a Palace fan. I know you're a Palace fan. Hopefully, we will beat Liverpool during the week. Excellent. I could really. I'll tell you what. If Liverpool start really losing it, never mind. Kevin, are you really a Scout? You're not a Scouts fan, are you? I can't believe that. You haven't. He's put how's the golf going, but he hasn't actually said anything about whether he's a Scouts fan. We'll see. I can't believe that. I thought most Rotarians liked rugby, not football. I thought I was the only one that actually liked football. But never mind. Question number 5. Listen carefully. What was first manufactured in 1837 by English pharmacists William Perrins and John Lee? So question 5 again. What was first manufactured in 1837 by English pharmacists William Perrins and John Lee? Not too tricky that one, I'm sure. Lids. See the next question. You drop the country. The country. Just drop the country. Question number 6. The Dynatac 8000X was the first mobile ever produced commercially, but which company was it created by? So question 6 again, listen carefully because this might make it or break it. The Dynatac 8000X was the first mobile ever produced commercially, but which company was it created by? Well, it's great to see so many teams taking part tonight. It has been a pleasure actually to do the quizzes during the lockdown. We are now on quiz number 25. I don't know how many of you. There's one or two that Tina still uses it. What? Ken still got one? Oh dear. What a TX4. I can't believe anybody is still using the Dynatac 8000X because it weighed about 8 kilos or something. This thing did. Yeah, never mind. Had a battery life of half an hour and lead acid batteries. Question number 7. Listen carefully. What is the name of the tough fibrous structural protein found in fingernails and toenails? So what is the name of the tough fibrous structural protein found in fingernails and in toenails? Okay, it's an apple 5C. Harry's still using it. What is that? Is that the 5C or is that the Motorola Dynatac 8000X? I'm not sure. Not sure if it still works, Harry, to be quite honest. Oh, dear God. Question number 8. This is a place I've never actually cycled to. I've always wanted to, but it's impossible to get to unless you drive there, to be quite honest. So here we go then. Question number 8. What novel was inspired by Daphne du Maurier's 1930 stay at a coaching inn which still exists as a pub today in the middle of Bodmin Moor? So question 8 again. What novel was inspired by Daphne du Maurier's 1930 stay at a coaching inn which still exists as a pub today in the middle of Bodmin Moor? And me and Anne cycled Bodmin Moor last year, and we didn't go there because it's impossible to get to unless you go down the A30, which you don't do on a bike. So you can only really stop there by car. I can't believe this beer is 10% tonight. Well, I might be acting like it, but we'll see. Right, 2 questions to go. Let's see who can win this quiz tonight. Question number 9. Opened between 1906 and 1915. Which line of the London Underground system comes first alphabetically? I'm sure you can all work that one out. So opened between 1906 and 1915. Which line of the London Underground comes first alphabetically? We'll give that one away, Lee. Good. Well, it's been great to see so many people taking part in the quiz tonight. Even if I've got a bad shoulder and I'm in pain, I've enjoyed it quite a lot. And I hope everybody's enjoyed the quiz tonight. We might even have a full 60 out of 60 now, which is a bit embarrassing. We'll see how we go. And I thought it was quite tricky, round 2 and 3, but never mind. Everybody seems to have breezed past it. Right, here we go then. Question number 10. The last question on the quiz, derived from the Latin words meaning sun and to stand still. What one word is used to describe the time when one of the Earth's poles has its maximum tilt towards the sun? Yeah, I think you're right, Matthew. Rotator cuff, I think I've knackered it, to be quite honest. Yeah, Angela's had it, and it didn't help. I mean, I went right over the front of the bike, and when I thought I broke my collarbone, but I haven't, thankfully, because I've broken it once before. Broke them both. Thought I broke it again. What's that? You will have to have a drink with your left hand. Actually, it's good exercise with the right hand, to be fair, if it hurts. Never mind. So question 10 again, listen carefully. Derived from Latin words meaning sun and to stand still. What one word is used to describe the time when one of the Earth's poles has its maximum tilt towards the sun? Yeah, I think you're right, Robin. Unless I take it up left-handed, of course. Ambidextrous pew, they never said any more than that. Let me just take up my left hand, see whether I can not spill it everywhere. Actually, that's safer doing that. I was spilling it with my right hand and not with my left hand. I think we might have some maximum scores tonight, which is a bit worrying, which basically means that I thought tonight I've got a bit of a tougher quiz, but everybody seems to have done really well. I suppose there was only one round that was particularly tough, round number 2. The French round wasn't that hard, was it? Perhaps we'll have I said German next week. We'll see. Right then, everybody. Do we need any more time, or are we happy to do some marking after that round and see whether the pews of Cambridge have beaten the pews of where are we? Short Scratchington? No, they've moved. They're now in where are they? Stretton-under-Foss. Yes, Stretton-under. Is it Stretton-under-Foss? Yeah, Stretton-under-Foss. We cycled there the other week. Oh, have they beaten the pews in rugby? We've got 3 pews teams playing tonight, and we got two. We've got Carol Jackson with Home Alone, and we've got the what? Is it kicking? Right, the 10%'s kicking in apparently. So I better hurry up. There we go. So I've got my right arm to be ambidextrous. Yes, I think I have as well. But never mind. Here we go then. Right, let's go through the answers to the general trivia round. So, are we ready for some answers? These apparently are the right answers. I wrote them down earlier. They might not be. Here we go. Question number 1. According to the proverb, what is said to be the mother of invention? That's necessity. Necessity, of course, is the mother of invention. Question number 2. Hans Riegel. He started a company called Haribo. Haribo. Well done if you got that. Number 3. Also the name of a large, even-toed ungulate. It's the name of a band whose bands include Snow Goose, Nude, and Moon Madness. That was Camel, of course. Camel, well done if you got that. That was a band I had a Camel album, I think. I don't know which one I had. Snow Goose, I suppose. 20/20 vision is measured in feet, so it's 20 feet. Well done if you got that. Number 5, what was the first manufactured by the pharmacy? It was Worcestershire sauce. We should have some people got that one, of course. Our friends from Worcester won't get that one wrong, I'm sure. The Dynatac 8000X was first produced by Nokia. Well done if you got that. No, it wasn't. It was Motorola. Motorola. Well done if you got that. What do you mean, gotta say? You say they got that one wrong. Number 7. It's the name of the tough fibrous structural protein. That's keratin. Number 8, of course, was Jamaica Inn. Jamaica Inn. Well done if you got that. It's a tricky pub to get to because it lies directly on the A30. You can't really cycle there because, well, you can do, but it's about a 5-mile detour to get there. Number 9, no, we haven't been there. Opened between 1906 and 1915. Which line of the London Underground comes first alphabetically? That's the Bakerloo The Bakerloo line. Well done if you got that. And find number 10 from the words sun and stand still. It's solstice. Solstice, of course. The summer solstice, which happened yesterday at 23:47. Or somewhere, somebody might correct me on that, but it was 23 something. It was near midnight. The summer solstice, which can vary by up to 2 days over the century. So there we have it. Let's see how we're fared. We've got Chilly Willy, fantastic, 55.5. We've got 59.5. They've only dropped half a point. Well done, Kevin Keenan and the gang from the Rugby Rotary Club. Sarah from Worcester, of course, you must have got that one, 51 points. We've got Squeaky Bomb, 55.5. Anthony Ridgway and the Ridgeways on 53. Mick Roberts, 52. We've got Ian Sharrett and Julie, and he had 57.5 points. Might not be big enough tonight. We've got Carrie Mitchell on 55. Fantastic score. Chris beat 51. What happened tonight, Chris? I don't know, but never mind. We'll take you on tomorrow night, or is it Tuesday night? Never mind. Martin Davis on 54. Michelle on 54.5. We've got Home Alone 55. Well played. That's a good score. Oh, Don Quizzotti 59 points. Nicky Bowers on 51.5 points. Matthew Blood, he just says great quiz, but PRS. PRS on 58.5 points. We've got Alex Brown's best we've ever done, 52 points. Well done. Mike Yates on 53. Well played, Mike. That's brilliant. Jill Pugh, 54.5. Well played, you. Anthony Pugh on 56 points. Well played, Ant. Fox and Foot, 34.5. Not there tonight, unfortunately, but never mind. Helen and Steve Valentine on 55. We've got Diane Alex and Pinky Perk on 49 points. Pick and Mixer on 52. Split the difference. 60 points. I think they might have won tonight. Johnny Callan, Nice Ice Baby, 54.5 points. We've got the Baby Prize Girls on 50.5 points. We've got Andrew Lewis on 43. Famous 5 end up with 57. Well done them. Graham Gifford, thank you. We've got Jenny, Graham, 54. Rich T, stupid as it's stupid, 34.5. My excuse, on my own, and under 40. Well done, Rich, if you took part in the quiz tonight. Well, I thought you'd be watching the Scousers, but never mind. Brilliant questions. I don't know about that, but never mind. Good night. Thank you very much. So, we have some fantastic scores in tonight. Chris Beat, great quiz, as always. Cheers. Nicky Bowers. Well, Tempest Fugit. Cheers and see Tempest Fugit. Yes, time flies. It does. Many thanks. Lovely to see you, Sarah and the gang. I hope all is well with you two tonight. And there's more than two. I don't know. Never mind. Thanks, Mike. Hope all is well with you. Hope you enjoyed the quiz tonight. It was quite testing, but we'll see next week. I'm going to have to come up with something because I can't have 60 winning it out of 60. Thanks, Amp. Well done. How did the pews fare? We've got Anthony Pugh. I don't know. I didn't see how you did against the rest of them. We had, I don't know what Greg got. Greg 55. We've got Greg P on 55. Anthony P on 56. What did Stephen again get? 54.5. Oh, 54.5, 55 and 56 was it? Oh, so close. Never mind. Well played, brothers. All my brothers have played tonight and they've done really well. So we're just going to get my brother Pete, who's a bit of a quiz expert. Thank you, Karen. I hope you've enjoyed it tonight. Great to see our Liverpool. Not our Liverpool. What am I on about? Our Blackpool, Liverpool. I've got Liverpool in mind. Cheers, Greg. Well done. Just finishing off beer tonight. How you doing with the beer? Has it been good or indifferent? Let me know. Thanks, Andrew. Did you beat Martin tonight or not? I'll be interested to know. Thanks, Jill. Hope all is well with you and Steve and the kids. How's our how's your daughter doing with that baby? Is she all right with it? Not long. How many weeks is it now till Laura's due? End of August. Oh, my goodness, you must be looking at something. Oh well, you can catch up with me soon and. I've only got 4 grandkids. That's enough for anybody. Don't want any more than that. Anyway, good night all. Thank you so much for taking part. We will have a quiz on Wednesday night. If my Greg's enjoyed the beer. Thank God for that. Right. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the quiz tonight. We have had for the first time a team, or was it 2 teams? I can't remember yet. Maximum points tonight. So I thought it was difficult, but never mind. It obviously wasn't. Maybe them just general knowledge question. Maybe I need to put in more ridiculous questions. Anyway, thank you all for taking part tonight. We've had a great time. Mark, thank you for you. See you Wednesday, 30 degrees. People are expecting high temperatures on Wednesday. So I might do an outside broadcast if we're lucky. I have the new cable, which has been supplied by Martin Davis, one of our quiz people. And if all goes to plan, I will be broadcasting live from my back garden, or my, what do we call it, al fresco? I don't know what we call it actually. But never mind, we'll be broadcasting from outside on Wednesday if the al fresco, if the weather is good. And anyway, what are you going to do tonight's quiz? Weren't you going to? Yes, I was going to do it out tonight, Robin, but the weather wasn't very good. It was a bit windy. I've got a bad shoulder, and we'll see. Anyway, Wednesday night if we're all looking. Anyway, good night, and thank you very much, everybody, for taking part tonight. It's been a great time and great light, 55.5 points. You can't knock anybody for just losing by 2-3 points, can you? So, thank you very much, everybody, and yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Carol. Do we all have to? Actually, yes. If it's good weather, that's a good one. Maybe we should all sit in the gardens on Wednesday with a beer in our hand, with an umbrella over our heads just in case it rains. That's a good one, that is. So on Wednesday, I'll expect all of you outside if it's good weather, and we will see how we can do. Thank you very much, and good night all. Let's go. Good night. I know, yeah, that's what it sounds. It's good to me.